you guys tonight talking about your favorite city in the news, Chicago. Disclaimer, our family does own, well, my grandpa does own 20 some rentals in Chicago. And so some of my opinions may be biased and influenced on the fact that our family owns rentals in said city. So I just want to clarify that disclaimer as people say I don't give good disclaimers. They didn't know I invested in this or that. So anyway, we want to start the show off by thanking our sponsor, Sovereign Black Woman, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you. And we also like to thank our other sponsors, Mindset Matters Teas, and also Annette's Worth. Grab that stock course. Start your investments now. Anyway, let's get on with the show. All right, you guys, if you don't know who I am, I'm Erica Williams, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Also the author of the Classy Climb Planner. You can grab this copy of version 1 on Amazon.com. Well, version 2 will be here later this fall, probably October, November. Now, I love Chicago. It is beautiful. It is unique. The food is unique for sure. The weather is horrible. Sorry, hate the weather. I remember visiting my grandparents up there in freezing temperatures and being like, why are we here in November? This is horrible. You need a real coat, okay? Not a baby coat, a real coat. Now, there's only 36 likes on this video, and I tell you, I bring the quality. All I need you to do is bring the likes. Now, today I hurt my neck and shoulders and tried to get a massage and try to fix it. But if I leave out a little early, that's what it's for. My neck is hurting, okay? So part of why Chicago is the prime example of two cities. If you don't know the latest update news on Chicago, Chicago is full of cameras. It's full of finance. It's full of investments. Donald Trump has a building there. They dye the lake green in the summer. Well, St. Patrick's Day. And it has a very interesting real estate market. All the upside is on the south side of Chicago. Here's the problem, though. You have the most blatant example of two Americas that you'll ever experience in your whole entire lifetime. What do I mean by that? There is 50% Black male unemployment in Chicago. There is no functioning city in this world that can have 50% of the men, folks, unemployed. There's just no city. Now, on the flip side, if you go look, that's correct. Chicago is a transportation hub. You have Chicago O'Hare that everyone hates. You have Chicago, trucking and transportation. You also have to understand that Chicago has a ton of industries with very people making very high incomes, right? You had programs where they tried to give away properties in Inglewood. They try to, hey, if you buy the property beside it, right, for $1. There's a guest. If I can go find the old video, I may clean her video up and send it over to the editors. We had on Miss Angela, who her and her husband got a free house, but it was in Inglewood, and everybody's like, don't move over there. Well, of course they moved over there. They homeschooled their daughters, and they bought multiple properties for the dollar lot program, and now much wealthier, greater position. Check out that video interview if you can. But here's the problem. Chicago is not just its unemployed Black men. It is a Chirac. It is a gun culture. It is a things going on, the old Italian gangster movies. But here's the problem, truly. Chicago represents America. There's this vast part of America, and it's not just Black. It's not Black lower class. It's white. It's Hispanic. It's Cambodian. It's Laos and California. It's the Korean boys fighting each other. It's a lot of people who are indoctrinated in a level of living that they're stuck. And the best book that can offer a good kind of comeback on that is The Disintegration of Black America. Also, Pat Buchanan wrote a great book about, the death of white America. His is a little dramatic, but it is. And it's talking about there's this ingrained, locked-in system. Now, let me explain, right? Many people are like, systematic racism. Yes, but it's also a cultural system. There are white and Hispanic and Latino and different people who are locked in this level of this less work. What do I mean by this? Low work, low income related work, manual labor, but no access to move up. You can grab the book Bait and Switch. Again, I'm giving you books here to back up all this documentation. I'm giving you studies. Social workers year after year see the same thing over and over. Poor mom, can't afford anything, keeps having kids. It's not just for the benefits. It's not just for the food stamps or anything like that. That woman truly believes in her heart she can be an amazing mother, even though she don't have food or a roof over her head or a good situation. There's a lot of books documenting it. You have on the flip side this other Chicago, this touristy Chicago, this people got money Chicago, right? This beautiful downtown that they pulled the bridges up so kids couldn't come downtown. But I want you to understand the same power the cell phone gives you to trade stocks, invest in small businesses, make a Shopify store today, buy courses, is the same internet that these kids actually use to meet up at a location and riot, basically loot. Now, on one hand, you go, oh, those terrible thugs, blah, 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 blah. These kids are not dummies. This is a pervasive part of America where people think, why should I have to work for it? That guy or girl isn't working as hard as I'm working. It's a classic case of keep your eye on your own paper. But we can't do that in America now. We have this voyeur system where we watch people. We watch people via Instagram. We watch people via YouTube. We see that they have Lambos. Why can't I get a Lambo? Because see, here's the thing, in these stunt channels, and I'm gonna say something, and it's no disrespect, no shade. Today, Kurt Adrian was posting about how could y'all take advice from someone who is basically promoting illegal credit repair in a state that doesn't allow it, which is the state of Georgia. And she's correct. But just because something's illegal doesn't mean people won't stop doing it, right? It's almost a catch me if you can in Georgia, which is unfortunate. But that's just it. That's America. That's Americans going, I'm going to do it anyway. It's the not wanting to work on both sides, right? The number one phrase I hear from people is, work smarter, not harder. And I'm sitting there going, well, when did you work hard? Let me know when you worked hard so we can get you to the smarter part, right? There's this very big push against having to work harder than your neighbor because you assume your neighbor is not working. Well, my neighbor ain't got to work this hard. Well, this guy ain't got to work this hard. But that's not your place. As they say in the hood, stop pocket watching people. There's a number one request that we have on this channel, always for videos. Well, could you do an income report? Could you show us your bank account statements? Could you show us how much money you make? Showing you how much money I make will never satisfy the desire in you to think you're as smart as me. Let me say that again because people think I'm being a jerk. You seeing how much money I make will never satisfy the desire for you to think that you're smarter than somebody. And if just you had an internet channel and curly hair, you'd be doing better than me. There is an internal thing that people are struggling with. Prime example. If you guys see my comment section right now, if you see my comment section, oh, thank you, Paul, for the $5 cash app. I appreciate that, always. I posted about Steve Harvey's wife. How Steve Harvey, yeah, he can write books. He can have this amazing story, slept in his car, married all these women, still became famous. Yeah. But the real story is his latest wife, who dated not one, but two drug kingpins who were cousins. Not only dated them, married them, had children by them. Her kids are siblings, cousins. You know what I mean? Like, ew. Siblings and cousins. I mean, it just blows my mind, right? But the real thing is, how did said woman get past handlers, get past background check folks, get past several people to get to this man? Now, people are going to say, well, Erica, you're just jealous. She is feminine, beautiful, inspirational, as Kevin Samuels would say. But even feminine, beautiful, inspirational people still have to go through background checks and handlers. When people make a certain amount of money, when you're making millions of dollars a year, they just don't let any loose booty Big Betty come your way. She had to get through some spots. Oh, that's my driver. Hold on, grabbing the door. Hey, how you doing? Holy moly, we got an intermission on our hands. Hey, coming back, you guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. We're definitely going to cut this when we get this back. Uh-oh, somebody said be careful. Hold on, I'm coming right back, you guys. Oh my goodness. You know, I need that Kevin Samuel intermission. Little video. You know what I'm saying? All right, now, back at it. Here's my point, what I'm trying to say. Had to run. Okay, so here's my point, what I'm trying to say. There's levels to this. Same thing. I use Steve Harvey as an example, but just like Tommy Lauren, I posted in the community section BGS ignores video. Why did I post it? I post it because people don't understand classism and what really separates us. They just don't understand. Now, why do I mean that? There are levels that Tommy Lauren expectations are presenting that people are like, why is she expecting so much? She's not so hot. It's just like the people with Steve Harvey's wife. Well, she was hot, Erica. That's all that matters is she was hot. And this is true. On a base, bare minimum, animalistic level, all that matters is someone's hot. But when you start going up levels in society, in money, again, people will have you out here believing that, which this has happened. This is a common story. Some waitress, some bartender, some administrative assistant just fell in love with a rich man. It was wonderful. You know what I mean? There's this story they want y'all to believe that this airhead bimbo just big titty walked into someone's life and got married. This is a common story. This is not uncommon. It is not. But someone who has not one but two consecutive cousins, husbands, and children that are cousins, siblings in jail did not just big titty weight her room into a room with Steve Harvey. That's not how real life happens. Now, there's been some people give me some backstory that, hey, they knew each other before this and that. And now Steve Harvey got money. He could stun on her. And that's nice. That's okay. Sure. I'll believe that. Same way I'll believe Tommy Lauren, who's dating politicians and wealthy sports agents, has a level of standard that many in the common, and I said it, the common folk can't understand. Why can't they understand that most people in those situations network level to level, refer people? The last 8 weddings I went to over the course of, I'd say now it's 3 years, 8 to 12 of them, that all the people got recommended via either Christian singles dating, or somebody's company mentioned this guy. Hey, there's a guy at our company. Or hey, there's this person that works on this floor of the engineering floor. You guys should totally meet. Referral and networking. It is the 9.99%, 10% of Americans kind of isolating themselves, circling the wagon. Now, we could say there's 2 Americas and there's the reason for all this looting, but that's lazy. Yes, there's 2 Americas. We all can see it. There's towns in the South. There's towns in the North that are dying. Majority of the population, white and Black and Hispanic, are on some type of welfare, food stamps, disability. And it's generational. It's not like it's new. It's been like this for a while, since the factory started similarly leaving. So you would think, why don't these people leave this town, leave this city, go somewhere else? And every time the answer is the same. Well, I'm from here. Why can't things be easier? Why can't the government give out more resources? Why can't schools spend more money on education? And what you fail to realize is we can pour millions into education, but if these kids go home to an environment that is loud, it's never quiet, it is a low humming of the city and activities and excitement. That is what, and there was even feedback from home. I know people right now who told me that when they wanted to go to medical school or they wanted to go to engineering school, people in their family, even though they knew this child was smart, were condescending and nasty to them. Oh, you think you're that smart, huh? These are kids who are literally engineers to this day, telling me this story of how their parents basically were insulting them. So this is a issue of what's going on at home versus the technology of today, that these kids know they have access. They're frustrated, but they have access via these cell phones to communicate with each other enough to collectively go somewhere and loot somewhere. These aren't dumb kids. They're just not dumb kids. They're just in a locked-in situation where they keep thinking, well, the only way to get something is to take something. The only way to get some money is get some benefits, sign up for paperwork. Now, many people say, well, Erica, you're overgeneralizing. This is not an overgeneralization. I've shown you the video, multiple stats of the Department of, I forgot, is it Food Agriculture? Essentially the website that shows you how much people are getting benefits in the United States. And 50% of all children in America right now live in a household where somebody is receiving some type of government assistance. Now people go, oh my God, Erica, it's not all food. It's not all food stamps. You could have an elderly parent live at home with you, gets SSI. You have a disabled cousin, disabled family member, they get SSI. But that ought to get your mind locked in that 50% of kids are living in those type of conditions. Not only that, the other side of the Americas are now getting in these master plan communities away from your kids. And now they're building these studies and these extra offices in these homes so that they can do what? Not have to interact with you whatsoever. They'll work in their neighborhood, they'll play, they'll walk, they'll jog. Their kids will go to these schools and they will not interact with you. And that's kind of the middle. The super wealthy in America, they're way over here. They've already got private security. They're separated from you. Now, I'm going to read over. This is what I always say, but that's just it. If you go on Indeed.com, if you see the TV show, look at the TV shows. Once you look at the TV shows, you've got Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Medical, Chicago this, Chicago. Chicago's a beautiful city. If you have a trade, if you have a skill, if you have a high income job. Sandra Bland, unfortunately, was leaving Chicago to move to where? Houston, Texas. People are leaving that state in droves. But that's just it. This is America wherever they go. This isn't just Chicago. Now, Chicago gets a lot of fanfare, but if you guys actually look up the top deadliest cities, New Orleans is higher, and so is St. Louis. Much higher. Much higher. Now, go over here and see what you guys are talking about. There are over 271 people watching right now. Make sure you hit that like button. Thank you, Harlem Real Estate Stories. I ordered Erica's Middleman to Millions. The course is great and jam-packed with vital information to start your search business. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Bringing those good energy vibes. I appreciate you. Caste system. It's a good word for it. Chicago is a very segregated city. This is true. Now, I remember there was a cop who had hit a security guard. It was a black woman security guard. And she was out there and telling him not to spit or something of that nature by the building. And he punched her. Straight up hit her in the face. I mean, hit her so hard she fell down. Now, the male friend with him just grabbed him and said, hey, man, hey. The two white women with them just turned around like, oh, my gosh. No one went to render her aid. Now, here's the craziness. Chicago was like, shame on them. Shame on them. Find this man. Find him. Of course, guess what happens? The main person that works with the city as far as a spokesperson and catching criminals, it was her friend. It was her family friend who was in the military, was visiting back home. And yeah, baby, they ran that bad boy all the way up to his commander back in California, wherever this kid was stationed. But it was a blatant disrespect for who? A black security guard woman working downtown Chicago. And he thought he could slide away with it. Chicago's full of cameras. That's why when people tell me they have all these unsolved murders, how? It's full of cameras. There you go. Thank you so much. Pat Buchanan's Death of the West. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. You know, we only got like 90 likes, y'all. Come on now. This is true about Inglewood, but at the same time, I cannot keep hammering the gentrification. We've heard that for 20 years now. You know your home is near downtown. What are you doing to fix said home? What are you doing to do small improvements? What are you doing to do things, fix things? What are you doing to fight your taxes going down there, fighting that? Come on now. Listen, hey. I have tremendous interest in the subject. Chicago seems to be yuppies going to Starbucks, crossing the street to avoid gang-related shootings on the other side. It is, there is a great documentary about how they had this huge housing projects in Chicago. And when they were like, let's break it up because this place is nothing but a house of slaughter. And I'm being nice. This is some of the wording they use, house of slaughter. You either got shot, you got hurt, you got injured, you got raped, assaulted, whatever. This is what happens when you make all people who are struggling financially in one place. It's a city of takers. It's a building of takers. Y'all can get mad at me, but that's what it is. And they said, okay, let's get rid of this place and we'll solve all the crime. Guess what happened in Chicago? They moved the crime around. When they took this big building down, they moved the crowd around. Why? Because the mindset never left. Okay, again, when people ask Jay-Z, why don't he go back and rebuild the projects and where he's from and why don't he do this? Why? It's the mindset. You were never meant to be long-term on welfare, on welfare. You were never meant to be long-term on many of these things you guys see out here. They were only temporary. They were temporary things. And when they stopped being temporary, they became generational. You started having people living in this year after year, year after year, year after year. You have people teaching their kids how to game the system. You have people telling their kids they better get pregnant quickly so they can do what? Game the system. And we all know the math is everywhere. Every book, every documentary, everything you could ever read shows you if you have kids unmarried, you don't finish high school, you are going to suffer. Right? There's several documentaries on Chicago. There's several. You can watch a lot of them, and it shows you again and again whatever is going on in that home goes on in the mind of that child. They've put charter schools there. They've invested millions of dollars in education. Everybody's favorite word is we just put more money in education, Erica. Just $20 more, just $100 more. These kids would be better, and that's not true. It's not true. So here's this right here. I'm gonna make sure you guys check out some of our sponsors. I got their products tagged in the comments there. Now, Laney Plants a Lot. You can reach my staff at classyclimtx.com and say you're reaching out from the show. There you go. It's in the chat. NICU grad. I used to go to Chicago a lot, and only 5 neighborhoods, all west and south sides, bringing the whole city down. This is absolutely true. It's only 5 blocks, really. They say 5 neighborhoods, but it's really a small block radius where the most intense gun battle goes on. I mean, again, Chicago's downtown is amazing. It's amazing, but guess what? It has this giant half of the city that's just dying. And I don't mean physically dying. I mean mentally, spiritually dying. Again, here we go again. They've endured decades of corruption. Listen, they have a very corrupt police force. They have corrupt things going on there. But what does that do to stop you from educating your child? Now, I know people are like, Erica, how dare you? I'm telling you right now, the difference I'm seeing in parents who are using this pandemic to make sure their kids are reading, writing, like spending lots of time there. And people are going to say, well, Erica, these parents are tired. They're exhausted. They're trying to get unemployment. They're trying to get checks so their family can survive and make it. And I get it. I get it. I hear you. I hear you. But guess what? They've been saying that same story for about 50 years now. About 50 years. Can't be the same story. It just can't be. And the pandemic is just exposing. It's just exposing the rottenness there. Same thing with Illinois. The Hurricane Katrina didn't destroy New Orleans. New Orleans was destroying itself for generations. It just exposed it. It just showed you what was going on. That why are y'all schools this bad? Why is this looking like this? Right? Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Are you local? This is the truth. This is the truth. Look, Ian Roberts. I used to live in Chicago, downtown. It's 2 cities. I can see why they're looting, and I don't blame them. Now, here's the thing. I watched this cop do a safety kind of talk, and he was saying, you're going to see in the future even more shootings of young brown kids. And here's the 2 reasons why. The young population is skewing more brown. It's the browning of America. And again, you have cops who assume they'll see a 15-year-old kid and thinks he's 30. Oh, I thought he was a grown man. Really? Black don't crack. We look young forever, but we don't look 15 when we're 30. Okay, we look young, not that young. Okay. I want to say yes to this, but I can't agree with it totally. There's some backstory there we don't know. We definitely don't know. She keeps a very low profile. You don't even hear how she talks. I mean, you don't even you can get photos of her for sure. You don't even hear her talk. But what I noticed is her child wanted to date Future. And everybody's like, well, that's not Steve Harvey's daughter. And I said, exactly. Daughter went from dating this one dude to dating P. Diddy to dating Future. That was already there for mom, but I'll leave that alone. Why do you think celebrities, parents pay for their kids to get an Ivy League? It's about proximity, connections, wealth signaling. Oh, for sure. For sure. I've had people put me on dates where they were just like, oh, hey, we have our friend over here, and he's great, and you're great, and you guys should go meet each other. And it's just because we're both black and middle class. I shit you not. and that's how. There's a guy, I can't name him on Instagram. I ain't trying to get that drama. He was dating this white girl. He went to Ivy League, was dating this white girl, was in a hedge fund, and they introduced this young, slim, beautiful black girl to him that was middle class. And boom, before you know it, if you look at his Instagram, he let old Becky go. And now he's engaged to, I better not say her name. What can I think of a black girl's name that's nice? He's engaged to Sarah, right? Because it's about proximity. Same thing with Steve Harvey. What I'm saying to you is, where was his handlers? There's backstory to that. Honey, I don't know who she paid at the door. I don't know which handler she had drug information on. Like, I'm gonna light your stop up, okay? I'm gonna light your life up with the information. There you go. It is. I made a video on this channel that got a lot of hate. I said, if your parents are poor, you will be poor. Boy, people hate that video. They talk a lot of smack on here, but it just is what it is. Here's the crazy part. We were in Chicago, and I went to the country music. Let me see if I can find it. It's a country music festival in Chicago I went to. Let me get the name right. And I was there, and people were like, oh, what you doing here, girl? Not mind the disrespectful way, but like Windy City Smokeout. I was at the Windy City Smokeout. It was full of barbecue and beer and country music. And the parking lot was absolutely full. And on my way, I was going towards the back when I was leaving, and I was talking to this girl, and she was saying, oh yeah, my mom, invested in real estate over there. She helped me get a condo, and I just want to rent it out, but my mom wants me to work really hard. And I said, oh yeah, I'm looking at some property in Inglewood. And she's like, oh, well, and she was super nice about it, but it was that look in her eyes of like, you over there? She's like, my mom got some rentals over there. But that's basically it, right? And the reason I bring that up is these people know how these areas are. They know these areas are not doing well. And there's no simple solution to it. But when you were at this Windy City Smokeout with this parking lot full of people, you would have never known. It was 3 days of VIP sections. I mean, you had some black people there sprinkled into the crowd, of course. And it was this thing of, I was just absolutely shocked. There's this whole side of Chicago just going on living their lives. And that's when I realized, I'm like, that is America. There's this whole side of America who are getting tech jobs, who are getting income to different things, and they're going on about their day. And there's parts of this country that are suffering. And really the response is, okay, well, do you want to get a different job? And these people are like, Erica, what schools are open? What schools are open? And I go, what do you mean? The internet is where this information is. The internet. And people say, well, everybody doesn't have equal access to the internet, Erica. But everybody's got one of these. This is a computer. You can even put this computer and cast it onto your TV at your house. You literally can cast this thing onto a tablet. There's a lot of ways to make this mini computer in your pocket work well, in your favor. Now, I'm going to read some more of your comments, and I'm going to go over another section I want to tell y'all. Three Kings, I actually was engaged last year. That's the thing. A lot of y'all think y'all know something about this channel, and you want to talk smack, but you don't know what you're talking about, do you? You wish you knew more, but you don't, do you? I have a whole private life outside of this YouTube, but I love it. I love it. We have these people who, and I'm going to talk about this real quick, who like to move the goalposts. Let's be very clear. Someone said on another channel, well, why are you teaching anybody anything, Erica? You know, look, da 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 da. Look at the way you look. And I said, you mean why is a millionaire teaching people? Why is somebody who has $1 million in sales or spoke to 6,000 people, paid phone consultations, teaching people about business? And then the man tried to move the goalpost. Well, are you married? Do you have kids? Or do you have a... And here what it is. The fact remains is, in America, we have haters. And they love to move the goalpost. What is the goalpost? See, when you're successful and they can't match it, well, what about this? What about that? Well, do you live in this type of house? Do you drive this type of car? It's called moving the goalpost. In conversations, when people cannot intellectually have an argument with you, when they are not on your level, when they are financially not on your level, when they cannot produce results in their life, they try to move the goalpost. What is this channel about? This channel is about the documentary, me documenting the journey of me having a business, closing it, coming to Texas, starting 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 different businesses that went up to 6 figures. But yet we have people who, well, I'm on the internet too, and I think I'm smart. So, you know, you're not that great. You know, whatever, Erica. And this is where you have this grand illusion. This is why we have 2 Americas. We have a whole segment of Americans who are disenfranchised, partly because of themselves, partly because society, and mostly because they're so ignorant and arrogant enough to think that, well, all I got to do is do something smart. All I got to do is get lucky. All I got to do is hop on this phone and I can be just as good as you, who put in hours of work, who read millions of books, who's done all this work. I mean, I'm just as good as you. And this is America. This is the America we live in. This is it. This is it. That's a level. It's classes to this. And people can't, when they see you on camera, they go, you're a brown girl. I mean, you can't be higher ranking than me. That's crazy. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules. I just live here. Right? So again, your net worth determines your net worth. Again, the day I had a legal contract issue, I couldn't figure it out. And I called up 20 people, all in my circle, who are all busy professionals, business owners doing stuff. And they all had amazing answers to the question. And I thought, dang, what would happen if I didn't know anybody? Thank God I actually put in the work and build a life that I enjoy. Again, I could literally make $10 million this year, drive a Lambo, and somebody will still say, well, you know what? Erica's toenails were not painted the same color as her fingernails on that one picture. So, you know, she's not successful. She's not winning. Again, this is the delusional, arrogant people who are on the internet who are frustrated. And I get it. You're frustrated. So that's why you go to these channels and all you can talk about is relationships. Because that's the only thing you know. Well, yeah, women are doing this and men are doing that. That's all you have to show for your life. Why do you think there's a rise of femininity channels? Because that's all people, they're like, I can't make more money. I can't get any better. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go jog every day. And then I'm going to snaggle somebody. Yeah, that's the plan. Snaggle somebody. I already told y'all, I go to a wealthy church. Even though we're not meeting right now, we're several women who were divorced, snaggled another person who was a business owner or who was an engineer making $160K a year. And people were sitting here going, but men don't marry single moms. They don't marry. Again, in your world, where you live, they don't. And there's a reason for it. They don't understand what getting ahead in life means. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. Anyway, had a little rant. There we go, just a little bit. Again, this is what people do when they get into power. They give their friends jobs. They give their kids jobs. No matter what city and state you go to, this will be the same every single place you go. Every single place you go. Oh, thank you so much. Ruben C. Erica, I'm from the South Side of Chicago. You're very right. I love your content. Currently got my first accounting client. Congratulations, Ruben. Harlem Stories. The best couples where money and politics make a great combination. Was Teresa Hines and John Kerry. Yes, Teresa Hines of the Hines Ketchup dynasty. They married each other later in life. People don't seem to remember that. But see, people assume, you know, decisions you make are based on your class level. Your minds are not on doing the right thing. This is very true. I'm sorry. Oh my God. It's terrible. Money helps in Chicago. It does. It's a perfect city for professionals. I would agree to some degree. Chicago taxes, I'll tell you right now, we went to go look at a property in Inglewood and I was getting excited. And we also looked at a property in the suburbs. I got kind of excited. And then I saw that it was like for 14 grand a year in taxes. And I thought maybe I'm misreading the paper on this tour. So I asked them, hey, what's going on? You know, is this correct numbers? Oh, yes, yes. That's normal here. What? That means $1,000 a month minimum has to go to taxes, property taxes. So that means I have to, as an investor, pass that on to the consumer. So before your rent is even made, I have to pass on $1,000 to you. That's unsustainable. Chicago lost 300,000 Black families in the past 10 years. They lost 3,000 multimillionaires in the past 10 years. And again, these people fleeing New York and fleeing California for other states, these people are telling tax professionals years in advance that they're leaving. It's too Americans. So is what it is. Listen to that. Here you go. I was born and raised in Chicago. Will always be my hometown. We don't have earthquakes, hurricanes, or tornadoes. Has the potential to be a powerful / elite city of the future. Chicago will always be what they call the number two to New York, really. You know, of course, they call them the big three: New York, Chicago, New York, Chicago, LA. But they always call it the great number two down south. Well, even the funny part is, we were on the bus touring Chicago. There were people on the bus who lived in Chicago. They just never, ever drive to Inglewood by themselves. They don't drive to that side of town. They don't live over there, so they don't go over there. So they were on the tour bus actually seeing the town. And here's the crazy part. I tell people this. The average American only drives 8-mile radius from their home outside of work. Now, people say, Erica, how'd you get those numbers? You know those little commercials where they have you plug in, I'm just using this as an example. They have you plug in the thing to your car. Safe driving, right? So you can figure out safe driving. And they also pull data from people's cell phones. People only drive 8 miles in the radius of their house. That's it. On average. So this is people with a car. So now imagine kids with no car having to take public transit to get somewhere, to coordinate an effort to go somewhere and do something. These aren't dumb kids. It's unfortunate what's happening there, but these are dumb kids. You know, I'm gonna say yes and no, only because where my grandpa's 22 properties are, there's a lot of cameras. And half of where they are, they would consider bad. The other side, you go like 2 miles over, it's in a nice neighborhood. Oh, Dominique, of course, there are people making bank. Thank you, Mad Ninjas. Cabrina Green, Robert Taylor projects. I did not get to eat a turkey leg, unfortunately. Our group was trying to support as many Black businesses as possible. Oh my goodness. They had to remove that project. It was in the middle of downtown. See, come on. You can't make downtown. with a massive place of poverty down there. Excuse me, that's not cousins. He said in an interview, he said that was not his cousin, her first husband. Obama let him out of jail early. Yeah, it cleans it up. It makes the story sound better, don't it? Because see, if someone says your wife married the boy's first cousin, I don't give a if he was second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins. You circulate your body in one family, both conveniently drug kingpins. Miss me with that. That's right. Same thing happened with the LA gangs being deported. They deported the crime. There you go. It's the mindset. Christopher Catchings, here's the thing. People will say, won't you reach out to kids in the projects? Won't you reach out to people on the ground? And here's the problem. A lot of our youth, again, there's 52% Black people in the suburbs and rural areas. Who am I going to most reach out to? Suburbs and rural area Black kids who may start slipping into poverty because they're not as connected as they should be, or they're not volunteering. Now, prime example, when I was growing up, we had a big emphasis on volunteering, Red Cross. I actually worked for the Red Cross several years. We also volunteered with several churches and groups. And through that volunteering, even with United Way, I was at one volunteering station one year. They just needed one extra person. It was 4 adult men there and their kids, all white. And I'm walking and we're talking and we're having a good time and we're volunteering. They were all heads of banks. They were vice presidents and presidents of banks. And each and every one of them offered me an opportunity. Hey, you can come over here for a job. You're about to be on senior year of college. If you come back to your hometown, here's my card. Here you go. Put it in your hand. Okay. Just email me your resume. You're a junior. You should have a resume by now. Email it to me so we can get you a job here at the bank. Now, would that have happened any other time? 4 heads banks would no, but see, there's this stigma on volunteering, and there's also this time crunch. See, there was a video, and I hate mentioning his name, but I have to. Tommy Sotomayor showed where this young girl was walking down the street with this baby on her hip. Now, first people thought, well, this must be this young girl's baby. Why is she outside fighting? And the other girls were attacking her, punching her in the face as she's holding this young child. Finally, cars stop and they're honking. They jump out the car like, hey, she's holding a baby. Are you crazy? Well, the news, of course, figures out who this young girl is. They go to her house. They talk to her mom. They're like, what's going on? Is that your granddaughter? No, it's my child, but I was at work, so I had to get my teenage daughter to watch my child. That child is losing out on her afternoons to do what? Be productive. Be in a sport. Not be in the street fighting. Okay? I can't connect to kids who aren't plugged in, right? Their parents aren't plugging them into the normal systems and rhythms of high school, which is sports, after school tutoring. I'm not going to reach those kids the best. There are other people who can reach them better. And my position is to give money to those causes and to those charities and to those people. Does that make sense? I just want to very clearly say that, because a lot of people say, well, won't you give your time? And see, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. There's a thing called unsolicited advice. I had this friend who I say, well, don't give people unsolicited advice. They don't like it. Same thing with these kids. If you go over here trying to tell these kids how to live their life unsolicited, they don't like it. Let people come to spaces like this and educate themselves. If not, let them go to other spaces where in a few years they'll be in the same position trying to figure out how to get out of it. It really wasn't. It is. It is. It is. Good book, Social Climber's Bible. Another great book is The Power of Who, writing 150 people you know. And once you review that list of people you know, you start to go, who am I hanging out with? Woo, honey. There's a reason they offered you that. No, Matthew. I would say people are leaving LA, and it's not even about Texas. Here's the thing. I get it. You guys hate that we keep making Texas sound like it's so great. But these same things are said about Florida. New York will feed Florida for years. No state tax. Period. Weather's better than New York. New York's been feeding Florida for years anyway. Come on. I get it. Y'all are so mad about Texas. And Erica, why are you always talking about Texas? Why? Because people are winning out here. And I get it. You hate hearing about it. But again, if someone comes here and they're paying $800 for rent, right? $800 for rent, $1,000 for rent, and they have enough time to use that time and space to think, again, think about their next moves. That's just the difference. There you go. Facts, Erica. I volunteer with a lot of attorneys, but you wouldn't know it from their weekend dress. That's correct. See, this is short-term thinking. This is short-term thinking. What does everybody have in their hand right now? What is this? This is a cell phone. These kids were smart enough to gather 300 other teenagers, actually probably closer to 500, and get them all to meet at a location to bum rush a place and loot it. These are not dumb children. And you guys keep trying to say, well, they're just in poverty. They just in the hood. It's so hard to get out the hood, Erica. You just don't understand. We glamorize hood culture. We do since 1992. See, in the 1980s, people don't want to hear this. 1980s had the highest graduation of, I think we call it master's degrees and doctorate degrees for Black people. It was like a uppy, what do you call them, yuppie uprising. Also, when you had a different world on, you had 3x enrollment of historically Black colleges. So there's a segment of 1984 to 1992 that is full of excellence, right? But what do you remember 1988 to 1992 for? Oh, crack and drugs and gangster rap. And again, it's the media is feeding you this position of low expectation. And this is called the bigotry of low expectations. Go look this up. This is a study. When you sit here and say, well, Erica, to get out is so hard. To do other things is so hard. You're saying those children are dumb. They can't help themselves and they just can't get out. And so don't expect anything from them. And that, sir, is racism. That's terrible. That's called the bigotry of low expectations. These kids are not dumb. If they know how to TikTok and code, they can get out. Come on now, honey, stop it. I will not allow you to make these children be dummies. They're not dummies at all. No, they are not dummies. And we will not allow you to say these children in Illinois are. That's right. Don't mess with Texas. Exactly. A $1.6 million frame house in Roscoe Village in Chicago. Same footprint and square footage in Roseland community for less than $70,000. The north and south disparity is mind-boggling. Very. Again, a city can have high prices. New York and California can have high prices because they are offering you this high pay, access to high income jobs, the people, the environment. They're offering you something in exchange. So this is why the prices are high. But when you keep living in a city where there is 50% Black male unemployment, it is time to go. Now you may say, Erica, they're not gonna run me out of my city. This is my city. If you do not have any economic engine, and again, let me give you a couple. Stocks, business, vending machines, trucking, business, notary, right? People are like, Erica, why are you talking about mobile notary, Andre Hatchett? Because to this day, I used my phone 2 years ago in one of our on-site events where we were showing people on the phone. And to this day, my phone pings every day about a notary, some signing somewhere for $100 to $200. all the time. Phone just pinging, pinging, pinging every day. I laugh about it, and I keep it on here to remind myself that there are opportunities. There's opportunities. If a person makes $100, and hear me out very clearly, if a person makes $100 a day, okay, $100 a day for 30 days, we're just being extra, 30 days, you're talking about $3,000. Now, somebody before I even finish is gonna say, well, $3,000 isn't a lot of money, Erica. It's a lot of money for you to get respect, feed yourself, and clothe yourself. For those of you, again, new to the channel, welcome. My name is Erica Williams, Classy Climb Blog, and we just try to find common sense solutions here to most people's problems. Let's be very honest. My friend moved to Texas from Maryland and in 9 months purchased his first home and has established his network to start his real estate investment company. He loves it there. I know. You will hear stories like this every day of the week, but according to the North, it's just poverty down here, and ain't nobody want to be down here. It's the South. And it's sad. People are missing out on the opportunity to grow just for those reasons. It's their choice. Tennessee, again, Dominic Griffin, if you've been watching this channel, go check out the Forbes Boomtown list of 2016. Again, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Colorado, Utah, and Texas. There are reasons people are moving here. Honey, Ohio, could y'all stop feeding Carolinas and Florida? I mean, I was at the hospital in North Carolina, and I promise you, every nurse was either African or from Ohio. It was quite an interesting thing. Thank you guys for the 203 likes. There's 350 people, 373 people watching this right now. Hitting the like button helps the channel and helps me and helps you. The Cosby effect. Yep. That's also the it's a different world. Yep. Buppies in the, I'm telling you, there is massive studies showing where now you have the second generation of Black kids going to college. If their parents went in the 80s and were those they don't go to school for they don't go to school for English or communication. They go for STEM degrees. So thank you. Kids in the hood are not stupid. People are really trying to strongly act like they're struggling out here. This is true. This is true. It 3x'd HBC enrollment in the time frame it was on TV. Mm-hmm. So part of why I love showing Mobile Home Elite and many people who are from there. There's opportunity there. There's lots of opportunity there. You literally have to try to be careful. You have to use this time to think. That's why I love Mobile Home Elite's story where he was driving for Uber and he was using that time to listen to Bigger Pockets. He was using that time to listen to podcasts. A lot of people only know their 10 square blocks, right? And you're telling the truth, London. A lot of people, even in New York, they don't leave these areas. Again, I'm not supporting Communist China. This is Samsung. It jumped. Hold on. Dang it. Again, you guys support Mindset Matters Tees. It's one of our great sponsors. Yeah, the whole thing about Obama Library, they don't want it. It's going to raise property taxes, especially in that area. Exactly. Yes, they don't care about education. I work in school system. You can totally see the difference in students whose parents value education and those who don't. Anybody in the chat here from Chicago? Can y'all answer this for him? Madison, Olympia Fields were nice 10 years ago. Someone said the suburbs are going down south. Okay. South suburbs are dying with the exception of a few holdouts. Thank you for the information, you guys. Listen, 300,000 Black families left. They left Chicago. They weren't playing. There you go. Thank you, Lewis Sutton. If your parents care about you, they'll make sure you learn. Honey, the Steve Harvey wife, the day she writes that tell-all book, baby. Oh, which she probably won't. She's smart enough to ride that train all the way through. He old. Trust me. You know, she got through somebody's door. Like I tell you, she bribed somebody on staff and told them, if you don't let me through this door, I'm gonna do something to you. There you go. As a single parent, she said this pandemic helped her out, less running around. Again, when your child comes home with stuff that they didn't leave home with, but again, this requires somebody who's paying attention, who's looking. Honey, there's so much I can say to that, but I'm gonna leave that alone. So Lyndon Thomas is telling us that, let me write these down. I'm gonna ask my grandpa. Okay, you know, he busy, but I'm gonna ask him. Okay. Northern part of Chicago is living their best lives. Hey, that's what she said. No. League. See. Y'all keep missing it. See, y'all trying so hard. Y'all going so hard for Steve Harvey's wife. It hurts my heart that you do so. It makes me sad. It does. Everybody's like, well, she know how to be a wife. She know how to do this. Listen to me. Listen to me, Linda. Listen. This is a woman who monkey branched her way up to a multimillionaire. This is a story that's common for waitresses and administrative assistants. A woman to be involved with two, not one, but two related, excuse me, not first cousins, but second, disgusting, cousins, they don't get to that level. I don't give a ham how fine her loose big booty is. It doesn't happen in real life stories. This is why the story is so unique. Y'all trying so hard to say, but this woman, stop. There are handlers. When you start making millions of dollars, there are handlers that come in your way. There are people who try to apply here just to be a handler and keep people back from me. I have a handler named Greg who will be at Texas Ground Zero. I have a handler in this office named Chris. People create space in a bubble. You're not going to just get at them. We were in Houston this past weekend. Random people won't just go get at me. When you got 8, 10 other guys there at the spec, like, hey, who that? They're not gonna. This is this fantasy that it's a Hallmark movie. I mean, if this woman writes a book, God bless her. It's a Hallmark movie that you can just do whatever you want, have kids with whoever you want. But if you just lose weight and you put on the nice dress and you blink your eyes, you're going to leapfrog your way from drug dealers to a Steve Harvey. Y'all stop it. Y'all are trying to come up with all the excuses in the world, and only in the Black community could this story be possible, because it ain't happening in the white community. It's just not. No. There's levels to this. There's class to this, and people hate acknowledging it. Well, she knows how to be wife. She's feminine, beautiful, inspirational. Y'all are doing monkey double backflips, trying to make logic out of something that is not logical. That's all. There you go. There you go. West Garfield Park seems to have gorgeous gray stones. Property taxes be high. Dodge and Village, 14 to 18K. This is crazy to me. Before you can even wrap your head around, okay, let's do the math here. If I buy a 150K property, I'm talking about maybe a $800 mortgage to a $1,000 mortgage. No, that's too high. Hold on. I'm lying. 150K house mortgage is, let me see. Your mortgage is going to be around $700 for 4% fixed interest rate. Somebody put this in the comments. If you get a 150K house for 4% interest fixed interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment for a 30-year mortgage will be $716 a month, while a 15-year will be $1,100 a month. Now, he just said you can buy these homes $150. So I'm gonna put on a piece of paper $800, and I'm gonna put $1,200, just covering, right? Now you're talking about property tax, okay? Your property tax, if you said your property tax was $14,000, let's go ahead and bust that down real quick. Let's bust it down real quick. 14,000 divided by 12, that's $1,100, $166 you got to add on to before you even break even. I mean, this is a depreciation all the way. Okay, so let's go this, just add this, plus 800. You got to charge $1,966 to even make that profitable with property tax like that. Does that make sense, everybody? Does everybody follow what I'm saying about taxes? Is everybody following what I'm saying about taxes? Just put a 1 in the comments so I know everybody follows what I'm saying about taxes. Here it is. Here somebody is moving the goalpost. Hey, sister, I'm not winning at life, so I'm gonna try to throw stones. Timeout. Putting people in timeout. There you go. I know. Some of them. Look, come on now. Come on now. Come on. Mark says, thanks, Erica. Met a co-owner of a multifamily unit being developed in Charlotte and talked to him for a bit. Every advice given to the form of business was his exact advice. You speak in truth. Thank you. Listen, at the end of the year, I have put it in the calendar. December 30th, I will have a video release called 2020 Income and Review. Because this has been a roller coaster every year, but I'm definitely going to do it. There you go. Tell the truth. Matthew's like, I live in Chicago. You know who's leaving? Poor people. So the government is lying. So IRS and the FBI and all these people are just lying about 3,000 millionaires leaving the city's tax bracket. They're just lying. Their IRS forms are incorrect. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you. Okay. Let's pull up some articles real quick for Matthew. Oh, South Florida is a different animal than North Florida. Come on. You can't have high unemployment, high property taxes, and snow 9 months out of the year. You just can't. Yes, there was an earthquake in North Carolina. My cousins called me about it. If property taxes are that high in Chicago, I can see why people are written. Mm-hmm. Listen, Christopher, same thing with Memphis. A lot of people from Mississippi hit Memphis, then they go further north or they come back further south. It happens. I keep seeing y'all super chats. Oh, thank you. Let's go ahead and click Matthew. Matthew, Erica, you are appreciated. I'm from Chicago. It's a great town. Can't make it lower your standards and move to an easier place. We are a global city. So is Houston. And so is Dallas. But okay. Thank you, Matthew, for the $5 support for the channel. Every dollar, every dime. We appreciate every dollar, every dime. Let's see. Oh, we got some more here. Hey, where is there snow 9 months out of your beside Alaska and Montana? You can break even on a $150K mortgage in Inglewood with $850 rent. I mean, would it be if it's a duplex? Yes. If it's a duplex, yes. But that'd be kind of hard. Oh yes, we're pretty conservative here. I mean, even in Austin, it's crazy. It's a big fight here. Why would they remove the mayor? What can that do for them? Big up Greg Adams. Hey, right? I mean, like, let's be really honest. Like, I have 20 boy cousins. There's only five girls in our family, and 20 boy cousins. And also, our family had group homes in North Carolina, but that's a whole nother story. And so, a lot of the conversations that were taught to me on being aware and watching how people's actions are, not what they tell you, not what lollipops they put in your ear, or oh, Erica, and sweet nothings, and they say all these things. No, people's actions, people's habits, pay attention to them. These are common sense things, and unfortunately, a lot of people haven't grown up to that. So, only in the bold and beautiful. Oh, her daughter's definitely doing the same. I need a handler to help me collect rent in my truck parking lot on 26 and Kosher. Go ahead and hire somebody. Make it $12 an hour job, 12 to 15. Listen. Oh, the ideal of cycling women in various circles happens in Reach Elite. Oh, yes. This is why when people made this fun about Tommy Lauren, I'm like, honey, she will get picked up. She will get picked up. If she's a little bit more quiet, she will get picked up. Trust me. She finessed, honey. Finessed. That's right. Texas does get cold enough for coats. If you are in Dallas and up, you getting snow. You get not necessarily snow, but you get cold. If you're in West Texas, it gets cold. It's desert, so you'll need a coat. Killeen is half desert. It's disgusting. You'll need a coat. The Rust Belt as a whole is dying. Most of us migrated there for factory jobs. If your family is no longer thriving, why stay? Listen, and you know, the sad part about South Carolina is a lot of times they'll have a cousin, some cousin up north who, you know, is struggling in New York, struggling in Massachusetts, struggling in these states, and decide they want to sell their piece of land that some great grandfather, you know, divvied it up between 20 kids because he didn't have a lawyer. And they end up making, I mean, this is a tragedy. You can go Google this for yourself in South Carolina. Lots of movies on it, lots of documentaries where they sell the whole parcel. They give the family like 7 days to get the parcel together and buy it back from the one cousin up north who wants to sell it. And it's sad. And you'll even like, I mean, there's several people. Thank you, Jason Clark, for the $5 super chat, Cash App. There's several people who are like, well, you know, I had to do what I had to do. I don't have any connection to that land. And that's the sad part. Thank you, Erica P, for the $4.99 super chat. There you go. She stay outside of Chicago. Here we go. And now you would put in timeout. I used to live in Chicago, but wait, most of my family has. Only one sister remains, and she lives in the Indiana suburbs. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you, Ellie Irving, for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Sharon J, for the $10 super chat. Yep, I moved from Chicago to Tennessee. Congratulations. Where are you moving back to, ma'am? Are you moving back to Chicago? Oh, sorry. I'm from Texas, living in St. Louis. Woo! I moved up here to stay in my parents' home, and although there's opportunity here, crime is ridiculous. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, let me see what else y'all got in here. Oh, Christopher, did you? Yep, I shared your super chat. Sorry, there's a little bit of delay in the thank you, Paul, as well, for the $5 super chat. Thank y'all for donating, supporting the channel, keeping it nice. What's the best place for someone to escape to? Hutto, Pflugerville, Round Rock. Woo! Houston, honestly. Houston. I'm being honest. A lot of growth. Ooh, Ellie Irvin said, sure is another place in the world they mess around and accidentally remove the homestead from my father's property. His taxes went from 200 to 1,900. We were at the clerk's office so quick. Oh, someone decided to say something stupid? Oh, we're going to time you out. Okay. Have a blessed evening. Thank you. Dallas, Texas. Let me be very clear. DFW was the only airport in the global world in May to be the #1 airport. Oh, no, Erica, Chicago. No. Go look this up for yourself. DFW in the middle of a pandemic was #1. Travel continued in Texas. Business conducted in Texas. Companies flew down to Texas. Okay, let's try it again. All right, Mr. Sherman, welcome to Texas. I see you got those earmuffs on. Okay, you golfing or you're pew-pew-pewing? Okay, black jogger. Oh, okay. We're going to go ahead and block you from the channel. Have a blessed evening. Okay, sir. Thank you. Lightfoot ain't the problem. She a little weird, but she ain't the problem. Oh, man. DFW has some really nice places. I really enjoy looking at it now. I want to get a condo in Houston just for development reasons and also Airbnb it when I'm not there. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Vice just uploaded a video about Black Americans and home ownership. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on there. What's popping in Houston? There is just, I recorded a ton of video. So when the guys are finished editing it, when the guys are finished editing it, you'll definitely see it. But there's just a ton of growth in Houston, just a ton. Like even where Money Madu built his residential property with Airbnb on it, I mean, there was at least 20 to 30 blocks of flat land that I was like, we could just go build. Okay, so this is interesting. Former Dallas PD head moved to Chicago. He's struggling. Detroit PD moved to Dallas. That's interesting. So anyway, that's what I had for you guys. It's been an hour and 17 minutes. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate every single super chat. There are still 357 of you here strong. I respect that. Thank you. If you would support any of the sponsors, we have Blackseed Summit supported the channel this year. We also have ZionBeardCare.com. Again, ZionBeardCare.com in the chat. We also have MindsetMattersTees.com. We also have annettesworth.com. You'll see it. For those of you on the email list, you'll see some of these things later tonight. Actually, tomorrow. And there's some really great content coming, and I hope you guys get to check it out. But thank you for being here tonight. Again, Chicago is just a prime example of our country really showing that there's a level of people that won't work. One, because they think they're smarter than the average bear, and they're not dumb. They know how to work the system, and it's just something they've been consistently locked into, this lower level of living, lower level caste system, lower level of work. Okay? And then there's this other side of town that's just going to be living and thriving and on boats and on Instagram stunting for the gram. And people are going to be like, how dare you be out here stunting? How dare you? Uh-oh, Mr. Sherman, you out there shooting at the range? What's up? Come down to Austin. Pew, pew, pew. We do a lot of shooting down here. Uh-oh, Iggy Six Figures. Sorry about that. That sounds terrible. She tried to, Steve Harvey, for the real, try to get you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. $5 super chat. I appreciate all of you. Anyways, you guys, Matthew. All right, Matthew. I can't say it, but you know, you posted it. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening. This is your girl, Erica, from the Classy Climb blog. Later.